Hey everybody, it's Fat Man from Holler. This is that Runway Poppa Sub-Cal Kit survival gun. And I'll show you guys right here. What's crazy about this is you'll see this gun. It looks goofy because it has these handles. It slides apart. I'm going to show you what the purpose of this sliding apart action is. You take a bullet, you drop a bullet in there for storage. You just slide it back on. And then what you do, you just drop it back out. As you can see, this is the hand. It has a handle where you fire it like this. And then the next piece, as you can see, I've painted since last time I did a video, and it just came in the box. I didn't have much explanation of it, but I'll give you guys a whole lot of good advice about this. One thing, if you paint it, do not take this front piece right here and do not paint it, because it will stick in there. As you can see, it has little marks. I use a knife and I scraped a lot of that off, and then it has this spring that goes right here. Because what initially does is you put this gun together just like so. You stick the gun together, and when you fire this gun, it's a little hard to do with the phone, but when you fire this gun, what happens is you'll have the bullet in the back, and you go like this. You slam it and it fires it. Okay. It's definitely not something that you'd want to carry all the time, but in a survival situation, I believe it'd be quite handy and practical. And how you load it, I'm going to show you guys how to load it, and I'm not going to fire, because if I do, I'll probably blow something in my house up. But anyway, you can see, here's where the bullet goes in it right here. And what you do is you stick it in there pretty snug, and then all you do is you stick it in here, and then wham, you slam it back, and it goes off. But I'm going to show you guys a little secret. See, sometimes when you fire it, what it'll do is the 410 hole will stick in it. And if you're a reloader like me, you don't want to damage the hole. What I do right here, I just take a typical broadhead arrow. It's definitely really hard to see with the stupid phone. But you take this broadhead right here, and then when the bullet is stuck inside the barrel, what I'll do is I'll slide the arrow into the barrel just like this. When I do that, what the purpose of it does is you keep sliding it through, and you'll keep popping it through several different times. And that's hard to do with this spacing problem I got going on, but you keep slamming it back and forth just like this, and it'll pop it out. If you're a reloader, it makes life really easy, because what it does is when you pop that arrow in there with just a little practice tip, what it initially does, it'll pop out the primer right here, and it does not harm your hull. So that's something important, because sometimes it does stick pretty good, and it's powerful enough. And I know a few folks like, I can't believe you shoot that thing's gonna blow up in your hand. But if you look at it right here, it has holes drilled. It has a hole drilled in it to take away the magnitude of it. It has two holes as exit holes, so it won't create any problem, because it's expansion gas holes. So, and all it is like $30. It cost me $30 for just the fittings and everything to screw it together. And this piece right here, it all unscrews. You could, if you want to, the tube that actually comes in, you could probably put it in it, and then you can go like this right here. The whole thing unscrews, and you can just screw it back together. And it does. And then here's the bolt that actually makes the bullet fire. That bolt sets inside of right here, and that bolt is actually what you're slamming on it. And I spoke of before in Vietnam how people made rat traps, etc. They use a similar situation. And all I did is took a piece of pipe and stuck a 410 shell in it, or a rifle shell, or a shotgun shell. And NVA would dig holes the size of, they kill Americans, and they take their boots and they dig holes the size of the American's boot. And then when the Americans step down into a rat trap, it'd either be a rat trap with a piece of pipe with a bullet that's going to fire out of it, or it'd be a piece of pallet or a 1x. And initially what it'd do is it'd have two nails right here. When the soldier stepped down on it, it had the size of an American boot. They'd step in it, they'd break it, and the two spikes would go in their leg. And then they usually take human feces of human poop, and then that caused people to have dysentery. And the whole initial goal was to figure if one guy gets injured, it takes 2 guys to carry him out. Then you got 3 guys out, and it's pretty consistent of using the old Sun Tzu method. But this gun right here is efficient. I mean, it cost me the kit cost me $156, and then using $30 at a hardware store, and it's like $30, $28, $30, some odd change, and all that. But it's pretty efficient. It's hard to show the whole gun in the video, but actually I'll step back with the camera where you guys can get a little bit more cleaner view of it. And here's what it looks like right here. And I painted it. And the whole thing about painting it is just definitely, by far, do not paint this front section where it slams, where you slam it to fire it. Because if you do, it'll stick. Because right here, it has to slide through this piece of pipe right here. As you can see when you're firing it, slam firing it. And see the spring right here? It takes some of the tension off when you fire it. And they just did a pretty good design on it, and has the exhaust holes, so it takes the expansion gases away. But I wanted to make a video of this. I haven't gotten around to test firing it because I need to get a little help. I need to have somebody run the camcorder, or option 2 is I set the camcorder up anyway and I put weights on it of sandbags or gravel or anything so it will work. But as you can see, it's not very big. It doesn't take up a lot of space. You can store extra ammo right here and in the front. And I mean, it's pretty basic. I just put some yellow paint on it. I might wrap tape around it and then spray it black, and then kind of make the orange kind of fade out, or take some leaves or some decor for me. You can do the decor stuff like go to Walmart, spend $5 or $10 and get all kind of different leaves. And you can put any kind of pattern you want from a craft section. Like stores like Michael, Walmart's, or even some dollar stores have it in decorative seasonal stuff like for Cinco de Mayo. Or you can take tree leaves and you put a tree leaf, and then you go hold a tree leaf with one hand and you go shh, and you just keep moving it around, and you can camo it. And I've also seen they actually are making this in 12, actually not 12 gauge, they're actually making this in 20 gauge now. And the other gun that I've seen is quite interesting, because I'm into odd guns, is they actually have a gun called a Sanoob. And it's a 25, it's like a 25.6, 25.5 flare gun, and it has an insert. You can actually fire a 12 gauge bullet through it. It has different inserts for 38, 22, 9mm. And I mean, the flare gun's like $250. The inserts are like $50, $100. So I mean, for somebody like me that actually likes firearms and likes all the nostalgia of it, I'd buy it. Some other people, probably not. And a lot of stuff, when you get into weirder different types of firearms, a lot of people will not spend the money on it. Like in the Fletch guns, they called them pin guns in World War II. A lot of that stuff was outlawed because of Geneva Convention and stuff like that. It's like unhuman to use real terrible tactics to kill your enemy. They wanted to have some kind of, like, I don't know, like in hunting, it's like sportsmanship. But they didn't want to like do crazy stuff to each other. And then I don't even understand the Geneva Convention if you're using biological warfare and mustard gas and that stuff. It makes no sense. And I know the stuff I'm talking about doesn't pertain to this, but all of it does pertain, because the survival situation, this can become very efficient in providing food or whatever a person needs. And there's one more thing. They actually sell these also that will shoot arrows. But see, I'm a hillbilly. And what we used to do when we was kids is we'd take my uncle's guns, take out the old pellets out of the 410, and we'd fire arrows through the old 410. And see what's crazy, I'm going to show you that broadhead will slide right through there. But see, I'm going to show you where the problem is the fletching right here. The fletching won't make it fire through. It won't fit that way. But we was taking them. And sometimes, like how the fletching is on this right here, would cut these suckers down to make them so they'd fly through old 410 or 12 gauge or what have you. And we was doing all kinds of crazy stuff. My uncle seen us and he said, "Jamie, what are you doing?" And I said, "I'm just doing something different." He He said, boy, you're always taking my damn tools and you're making weapons out of all my tools. You're teaching all the other kids how to do it. He said, what in the world am I going to do with you, son? He said, you're like a damn soldier and you're only 15 years old. You're making like all kind of little bombs and all kinds of weapons. Taking my nail guns. He's taking my nail guns and shooting pigeons and I was taking his concrete gun, shooting pigeons, because I was using ram sets to fire. I was shooting like tap cons and ring shaped nails through his ram set gun with 22 blank primers and the ram set and shooting nail guns. Man, I do all kind of crazy stuff. I know it's besides the video, but if you look at some of the stuff up on YouTube, a lot of the crazy stuff I've done, I actually see people doing it. And I've had I did videos on the blowgun. And the blowgun's kind of funny because when I seen the guy actually, he hooked compressed air, like an air compressor to a blowgun. It's quite crazy. But anyways, Fat Man from the Holler, enough of this crazy stuff. I'll wrap this one up. That is all.